Hey folks, welcome to Pol Ke Bol. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Saurabh. Today I'm going to talk about why are people in India changing jobs so frequently? Why have attrition levels increased? Why has the average tenure reduced? Ever since the pandemic, what we can see is people have been changing jobs very frequently. It's called job hopping. They're using, techniques like offer shopping. Basically, एक जगह से offer लेने का फिर चार जगह जाने का और वहाँ पे showing that hey, this is the hike I've already got. Can you match it? Or if not, can you make it even better? Can you go above it? So the average tenure has gone down. A lot of people are complaining that hey, there is no more loyalty in the corporate game, and people are just like joining companies, leaving in 3 months if they get another offer. What the hell is going on? This is unsustainable. And today in this video, I'm just going to talk about why I think this was long overdue. While unfortunate, it is completely understandable. And this is a challenge which is even more pronounced in Generation Z, that's Gen Z. Everyone loves to shit on Gen Z. I don't know why. I mean, I can understand why a lot of it is jealousy, frankly. But let me talk about this, right? Like, Indian corporations have not covered themselves in glory in the last decade or so. I don't think they've ever covered themselves in glory, but in the last 10, 20 years at least, we have seen them create a lot of jobs, but also lower the quality and the experience of jobs that were on hand, right? There was a time when if you hired people in an Indian company, it was considered whether public or private, right? Like it was considered you're part of that family, right? Now I know the word family when in a corporate setting it has been lampooned to no end in the last decade or so. But there was a time it was literally like that, right? Even if people joined a bank or something, which was a private bank, people knew, यार 10 साल तो यहाँ से नहीं निकल रहे हैं. Now, even if the salary growth wasn't that high, people knew that, if I sit over here, I will be rewarded at some point of time. Seniority matters. And, I will get good quality work after a point of time. I'll get a team of my own. And overall, the company will take care of me, right? That completely changed in the last 10, 15 years, I would say. What I personally feel is in the last decade or so, Indian corporates have, and even the big ones, the profitable ones, right? They have shown that, hey, even if you are performing well or performing all right, even if the company is doing well, you will be laid off if they feel the need to lay you off, correct? So the whole point about loyalty, I think loyalty goes both ways. I think on both sides, people, the promoters and the founders realize, and so did the employees, that there is no point of being loyal for so long because who knows if this company is even going to survive for another 4 5 years. Correct. With the surname companies, that was not the challenge. You knew ये अगला 100 साल से है, अगला 100 साल रहेगा, इनको कुछ नहीं होने वाला. Correct. There will be ups and downs, no doubt about it. But if you want to have a stable or oftentimes boring career, you can actually be over there and be relaxed. But then the demonstration effect comes into the picture. You see your friends and colleagues and all, everyone doing so well, and you are like कि मुझे भी कमाना है, मुझे भी आगे बढ़ना है. So people would be like, okay, I want to just jump. That's the one thing. I think lifestyle changes have caused people to really look at money even more. I would say inflation in terms of real estate inflation has really caused this because people are like, यार मैं कब तक 1 BHK में रहूंगा. I have a growing family. I need to get them in a 2 BHK or a 3 BHK. I need to earn more. Ultimately, सब कुछ घूम फिर के पैसे पे आ रहा है. Right? There was a time in India where it didn't really matter that okay यार कोई मुझसे ज़्यादा कमा रहा है. मतलब it was like हाँ, of course human beings will always be like दूसरा word dorate ही होने, which is like actually looking at what someone else is doing and like comparing yourself to them and everything. So this is always going to be there, no doubt about it. But it was even more pronounced once social media came in and once startups came in because people were like, यार ये बच्चा लोग इतना कमा रहा है, मैं काय को नहीं कमा सकता, or my friend is earning so much, why the fuck can't I earn so much, right? So that happened and people were like, I'm going to make a move. Plus, like this company that I am at, this startup that I am at, will it even survive for another 2 years? Forget 2 years, will it even survive for the next 2 quarters? And oftentimes they did not, right? In the mid 2010s, they did not. Many companies came in and went away, like went bust. So people figured out, boss, abhi time hai, let's just get in over here. Let's just earn a lot of money and increase our CTC. Even if I have to go back to my surname company, I will not go back to my original salary, right? Because Indian corporates, frankly, have kind of underpaid its own people, which is, let's be frank, right? Like abhi in 2002 and 2003, like literally 25 years ago, 22 years ago, Indian IT companies would give fresh graduates 2.5 lakhs per annum, right? 2.5 to 3 lakhs per annum. आज भी उतना ही है. But 2.5, 3 lakhs back then was huge. Okay. अभी थोड़ा तो बढ़ना चाहिए था. They haven't, because they realized, Indian corporates realized one more thing. कि bro, the supply is so much. They can literally go through, so much attrition, it wouldn't really impact them. Correct? Which is what has happened. They realize that supply is so much and demand is, like the supply of people is extremely high, right? And they have fixed demand. They are like, हम लोग साल का मतलब 50,000 लोग हायर कर सकता है. Can't hire 10 lakh people ना साल का. So that is the entire industry ka hiring. So, not even that much, to be very frank. So what happened is the salary stayed low in IT companies and even other industries for that matter, except for tech, where people were like, either jump kar sakte, either ja sakte. And then when people started doing that, okay, they realized that, boss, neither are these people loyal. Plus, we are now way more, efficient. We have to be more efficient. Indian companies were told by their boards and by their advisors and their consultants that you need to be more efficient. And no matter what, and you have to look at productivity and things like that. So back then, if someone joined and you could coast for 10 years and all that, those days were gone. तो ये बड़े कंपनी में यार एक तो काम भी करा रहे हैं, ठीक है, एंड प्लस इट केम अ पॉइंट व्हेन दे वर आल्सो लेइंग ऑफ पीपल व्हिच वाज कंसीडर्ड काइंड ऑफ अ टैबू 20-25 years ago, राइट? सो देन पीपल वर रियलाइजिंग कि भाई ना ये लॉयल्टी दे रहे हैं ना इनसे पैसा आ रहा है, वी माइट एज वेल जंप. So you see how the cycle is there. Both sides realize there is a lot of supply, both of jobs as well as of different types of jobs and different types of companies coming up, and the fresh graduates coming in every year. I'm not only talking about the IT industry or the tech industry, right? All industries, all places, right? Even retail or even manufacturing for that matter. So people, there is a endless supply of human beings in India of all distinct types of capabilities. Now that, and I have personally felt it, right? Like I was like, यार इनको quality चाहिए कि नहीं? And then I realized they don't need quality. The quality strategy and all, everything is done at the top. You are here to execute. And then they were like, execution के लिए मैं क्यों 5 लाख रुपए दूँ? 2-2.5 लाख रुपए में हो जाता है. So no wonder that people are like, boss, मैं यहाँ पे काय को काम करूँ, right? Also, what happened is people realize when someone else comes in, from another company, you stay in a company for 3 years, someone else comes into the company, they are coming in with a big hike. They are going to earn more than you more often than not, because wage structure discipline is rarely followed over here, because you're not allowed to discuss salaries. Neither is anyone going to tell you your salary, nor are you going to tell anyone your salary. This is not the US, right? Like कि minimum wage है कि $15 या $12 मिल रहा है per घंटे का. This is India, right? Someone's earning 40 grand, someone's earning 60 grand, someone's earning 80 grand, and your experience, who you are, where you come from, it's not always linear. It's not always logical. Sometimes you're like, what the fuck is this person earning for? I know people who stayed at a company for 4-5 years. They had, subordinates, like literally उनके team members, वो उनका manager था. उसके अंडर 4 लोग थे. Out of the 4 people, 2 people were earning more than him. Can you imagine how insane that is? How disgusting that is? I know people like that. The reason that happens is because Indian corporations got away with the fact that everyone's salary is a secret, but it kind of comes out. And also, they were punishing people in a way कि तुम बैठे हो ना हमारे यहाँ पे, तो तुम, if you're just sitting with us for the longest time, sit with us. You somewhere there's a lack of ambition. Somewhere they felt कि we can take this person for granted. So your loyalty, instead of being rewarded, seniority went off the question, because technology and being adept with new tools is not dependent on your age. It is clearly dependent on your skill. In fact, in some cases, the younger the better, because you have a better hold of the latest technology. So you get it. Like if someone spent 5-7 years in your company earlier, that was an advantage, because your systems and your partners and your customers, they knew and learned more about them. Today, your systems change every 2-3 years. Your partners change sometimes every 4 years, 5 years. Okay. In fact, the company's core strategic interests sometimes change every 5 years, right? So what sometimes, oftentimes the market completely changes in 10 years. Like Zomato, when it started out, it was printing, these menu cards. It was scanning menu cards, as once famously said by one guy, right? That was in 2008 and 10. By 2016, 17, they were delivering food. That was their main business. Okay, first they were restaurant discovery, then they got into food delivery, which was the main business, and today it is Blinkit, which is the main business. By the way, Blinkit is going to overtake Zomato. Blinkit, which was purchased recently, which used to be Grofers at one point of time. So you see how dynamic everything is, right? So a person who spent 10 years over there may or may not necessarily be the most important person over there. There's someone who's joined 2, 3 years ago and has a better hang of things of what's going on. That person may be literally more valuable to the company. So this happens, you realize, bro, मतलब इधर रहने का कोई incentive ही नहीं है. There is no incentive to stay at a place because neither is the company getting more out of you by you staying over there, nor are you getting anything out of it, because ESOPs and all, while they are a great thing and have happened in the last 10, 15 years, how many people have actually, you know, earned out of it? That's the whole point. How many people have actually realized their ESOPs? There are very few companies who have realized their ESOPs, right? And work culture is not something which got better over time. Oftentimes people I would see have spent 2, 3, 4 years and they got that fatigue in a particular company, and they were like, boss, like the work culture has gotten worse and worse. I'm like, yeah, if you have stayed at a company for longer, shouldn't the work culture, should it not get better? Should you not feel better? Because there is so much churn and so much attrition. It's like it becomes the ship of Theseus, right? Within 3, 4 years, entire teams are 99, like 95% different. So if you look at like a certain team or a certain function within the company, you should track 3 years ago how many people were there. Out of those 3 people, out of those 10 people, assume how many of those 10 people are there 3 years from now, which is today, and you will see hardly 2 people are there. So where is the continuity? Where is the consistency? So it becomes very inconsistent, and the only thing that remains consistent, frankly, is the fact that okay, the founders are over there. Oftentimes not even that, वो founder लोग भी निकलता रहता है. The customers ironically are like those people who oftentimes many big customers stick on with like certain big companies because there is the stickiness factor and everything, and there is I mean, there are downsides to changing vendors and all of that, right? So I personally feel that the model changed completely. People's ambitions changed, and even companies realized, boss, there's no point of keeping people around because there is no advantage of people keeping people around, right? Theoretically speaking, also, and practically speaking, also. You being at a company for 10 years was no longer an advantage to neither you nor them. So during the lockdown, it became the perfect storm where money was being thrown around, especially in tech circles, कि तेरे को कितना चाहिए, I'll give you, just join my company. People, I know kids who joined, as usual, as I said, right, like at 3 lakhs per annum or something in an IT company. Before the end of 9 months, okay, this person was 22 years old or something. He ended up with 4 offers. One of the offers went up literally up to like 14 lakhs per annum within 9 months. From 4 lakhs, dude's gotten a 14 lakhs का offer per annum. What does he know? Nothing. 9 महीने में उसने क्या इतना किया है अपनी लाइफ में? फ्रेशर बंदा है, he's working in some tech company. 9 महीने में इतना कर लिया उसने कि इसका salary is becoming more than 3 times, almost 3.67 times. No, he ultimately went for a job which gave him 12 lakhs because it was offering better conditions and work-life balance and everything. Uh, that was the smart thing to do. But you see, these things which would take around 7 years earlier were taking 9 months. कोई बंदा 3 लाख से 12 लाख में जा रहा है 9 महीने में. Why the fuck would you not take it? The market also went insane. So it was not just the people, the corporates, but also the market. You see, so this whole trifecta came into the picture where there were these insane scenarios and VCs just poured in a lot of money, and they had to pour in even more money during the pandemic, right? So this is what happened. And also, as I said, the demonstration effect, social media played a huge role because you literally saw all your friends doing the same thing. And you were like, am I a moron to sit over here? You know, am I a moron to sit over here? Why can't I just take another offer and fuck off? वैसे भी कुछ है नहीं यहाँ पे, ऐसा तो कुछ है नहीं. Like it's not like these people love me or something. Because if things go down, they are the first people to fire me. Correct? That was the reality in many cases, right? So there was a breakdown of relations on the employer side and the employee side in India. And today's generation totally believes ki, bro, I'm just gonna like move my jobs like every 2, 3 years because otherwise the company will take me for granted, right? And people from outside will come, they'll earn more than me. So that wage structure discipline is not something which is followed in India. It is pretty unfortunate because we are not a people centric work culture. Frankly, it was at one point of time. Today, it is not. It is becoming very weird. I personally believe it is becoming very weird, and it is not going to bode well, because these companies, the outside companies, which will come in and treat top Indian talent better, are going to bear the fruits of it. They are going to bear the fruits of it. But it also depends, right? Like if your company is focusing more on quantity than quality, you wouldn't care like how you treat your employees. That's the reality. That's the reality. These are some of the main reasons I feel people keep on leaving. I think it's quite logical. There is nothing like, oh, आजकल के ज़माने में loyalty वगैरह कुछ होने लगा. अरे क्यों होगा? You either incentivize loyalty or you disincentivize loyalty, right? So you have completely disincentivized it. In fact, you have made loyalty as something to be ashamed of. Oftentimes, I have known, by the way, I know some senior people who have once told me, this person's been with us for 5 years, not once have they tried to leave. I don't think they have offers from outside. I don't think they're a valuable resource. We are not going to give them anything until they come with a counter offer or they come and complain. As long as possible, we'll ensure that this person works at the salary that they're working, little bit of hike here and there, but nothing extraordinary. Unless they threaten to quit or come to genuinely ask what salary they think they deserve, until then, we are not going to do anything. This is the reality. This is the reality. Many a times, this is what a lot of people in important positions feel. Of course, it's an anecdote, but you will know. But you know that even sometimes people over there think कि भाई इसको ऑफर क्यों नहीं आ रहा है, बाकी तो सबके पास ऑफर आते रहते हैं, बच्चों के पास भी ऑफर है, इसको तो 5 6 7 साल हो गए यहाँ पे. तो दे फील यार दिस पर्सन इज फर्नीचर, ये तो हमारा घर है, यहाँ पे ये फर्नीचर है, यहीं पे पड़ा रहेगा एंड तक. So that is also something which people work towards avoiding, and that is why they jump after a point of time. And many people say that what, I love working over here. मैं क्या करेगा, दूसरी जगह पे जाएगा, 1 1.5 साल वहाँ काम करेगा, वापस यहाँ पे आ जाएगा, and by the time I come back, my salary is doubled. I know people like that. I know people like that. They're just like, I'm just going away for 1.5 years. I know I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back. But to make this a little bit more official about my raise, let me go outside, gain some leverage also over you, in the sense that hey, I actually have options. I'm not unambitious. I'm not not valuable. I'm very much valuable. The market deems it so. My salary's been doubled. Now you take me back and maybe double it even more, or give me a 40 50% hike and take me back. So these are also some of the tricks that are used, and it all of this can be completely avoided if one last thing, which is the most important thing, annual hikes need to be sensible. When I joined corporate, I thought, yeah, annual hike वगैरह ढंग का होगा. Like some of my hikes have been 2%, 0.3%, or sometimes pay cuts. In fact, because of market conditions and headwinds. And then one hike was like 6% or something, and I was like, हो क्या रहा है यार, एफडी क्लियर नहीं है, एफडी ज्यादा देता है, इससे ये क्या है, ये कैसी हाइक सही है, काम करो रात भर, सैलरी मिले रत्ती भर, you इंक्रीमेंट मिले रत्ती भर, वो that demoralizes you, that makes you feel, bro, what is this 6% hike you get, and what is that 25% जहाँ से negotiation start होता है पहले से, right? So, and anyway, work life balances or good work culture is not something that is prioritized in India any which ways. In fact, if you ask some of our titans of our industry, they want us to work 70 hours a week, and they believe that anyone asking for work life balance is a weakling, and this is not the time for Indians to be asking for work life balance. Like, okay, sir, we'll ask you what to ask next time, you know. Thankfully, not this generation knows who to take seriously, who not to, and where to push back. So yeah, this is what it is. And if annual hikes are sorted out, and there is wage structure discipline, and seniority is again given some sort of relevance, reverence, sorry, and relevance for that matter, I think we should be able to reduce attrition, increase the tenure, average tenure, and stop all this job hopping nonsense. Yeah, it is very disruptive. It doesn't work out in the long term, if you ask me. You end up feeling like a mercenary, and because ultimately you should be able to. And oh, by the way, many a times if you go out, like in companies, they expect ki this person should have been at a place for 3 4 years minimum. If they're job hopping, we don't want this person. This is like, you can literally open LinkedIn and check any HRs or talent acquisition professionals LinkedIn posts, and you will see that they also are like we are actively weeding out people like that. At least that's the expectation. So it's quite confusing why this works out the way it does. But I think it will go on for another 4 5 years until people realize, bro, we can't keep jumping companies every 2 years. It takes a toll on you. You know, I think there is improvement needed on both sides, but I think corporations being more powerful, I would say they can make the first move, especially in India. So yeah, that's what I think about why people move on from jobs and keep job hopping so often. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much. See ya.